So I think England are miles off fielding their best team on the pitch, but I'm a bit worried that Steve Borthwick doesn't agree. So welcome to this video supported by Lifting Giants. In this fallow week, I want to take a deep dive into this subject because I've been thinking about it quite a lot. My team's England. Occasionally I'm going to go off on them, have a bit of a rant, a bit of a discussion. It's just going to happen, I'm afraid. And my worry is, like the title in the thumbnail, I think England are striving for this mediocrity. I think there's danger signs there that Borthwick's England is getting close to a settled team and he might stick with it without pursuing excellence. Yes, I can see them being solid in the set piece, having a good attitude, a good psychology, working hard together, which is fantastic. But I just think they're still miles off fielding their best team, which I think is out there and coming through the ranks in the under-20s. Again, in the under-20s, we see some great players coming through. In a few years, surely Henry Pollock is going to be starting at open side for England. He's unbelievable. I'll do a whole under-20s videos. But to put it in perspective, I want to compare this current England team with Ireland and just show you how far off I think England are to an actual settled team that is good enough to win a championship and even a Grand Slam. Now, just as an aside, a friend introduced me to Steve Borthwick when he was about 21. I was probably about 20. I'm sure he won't remember it at all. We shook hands. He had big dinner plate hands. He'd just come to Bath to be their line-out guru, their start, which he was. A really clever guy, particularly in that line-out. And he is going to be honourable. He's going to be hard-working. He's going to be principled. You know, I can't speak highly enough of this guy as a human being, but I am just a bit worried that trajectory of England under him is just striving for average. It might not ever get to the highest level. It's a question that people are asking in the comments already. I'm still giving him time. You know, it's just over a year. I'm hoping that he is waiting for players to come online to start expanding and playing this better, more expansive game, this more exciting game. We're seeing a blitz defence. We're seeing some exciting moving attack, but I'm just not sure they've got the pieces to nail it yet. Is he going to just try and persist with the players he's got? Now, I'm holding up hope for now that this is just a temporary team and he's going to evolve it quite drastically over the years, but only time will tell. Let's just compare it with Ireland, like I said, and you can literally reel off their best 15, their best 23 with only a few arguments, and they're pretty good arguments at that. Now, there's many factors to getting the best team you can for your country, but surely the biggest ones are selecting the best players, getting them into a balanced team, and then apply consistent good coaching. And Ireland are doing that. So just to reel it off, what is Ireland's best team? I think we can say it now without too much argument that Porter, Sheehan, Furlong is the front row, Burnham Ryan is the second row, Peter Marnie, Van der Fleet and Doris is the back row, Gibson Park, Crowley are the halfbacks. Crowley obviously early days, but I think that's the way it's going now, so maybe a bit of a question mark there long term, but he's looking good. Then we've got Aki and Ringrose in the centres, Lowe and Hansen when fit on the wings. Nash looks good to fill in, Keenan at fullback. Then on the bench we can pretty much name that as well. Kelleher, Healy, Beelum, McCarthy second row cover, Conan or Baird on the bench there, so a little discussion there. Casey or Murray, depending on tactics or conditions, I'd go Casey. There is a question mark on replacement fly half, I'll give that. And Henshaw, I think, is the replacement back. As you know, these videos are sponsored by Lifting Giants. Finally, someone has actually designed an ergonomic, scientifically tested lifting block. If you want to get your hands on these, the code RugbyAnalyst 10 is available for the whole of the Six Nations. Use it on their website, link in the description below, because he covers so many areas, plus his class. So only a couple of questions, I think, for that Ireland whole 23. Then you can apply that consistent coaching, etc. And that's why they are so good. In a nutshell, it's super simplifying it, but that's how I think. Let's make the assumption, and this is a huge assumption, that England will receive similar levels of consistent high-level coaching. Yes, I know, big question marks over that, but let's just put that aside for 1 minute. That's for another video. Let's just isolate the facts of finding your best players into a balanced team, which is my fear that Borthwick will stick with an average team and stop pursuing that talent that is there, or maybe I'm deluded, maybe it's not there. You let me know. So here we go. This is how I see it at the moment. The team who he's found, who is the best players at the moment available. I'm not going to go into future players too much. Loose head prop, Marler and Genge. I think they are the best at the moment available. Finn Baxter in a few years could be there. Valrapava Ruskin got injured at the wrong time. Will we ever see him for England? I don't know, but he is one who could come in. But for now, some combination of Marler and Genge I think it's definitely the way to go. I think they're the best we've got. We know Marler doesn't give a lot round the pitch, but is a rock in the scrum, and again, not quite the opposite, but very different. How you start them could be depending on the opposition, but I think, yeah, he's settled with those two, and that is fine, as with the hookers. So I'm happy with those first two positions. George and Dan, they're the best two. I don't see Cowan Dickey coming back to the level he used to be at. I don't think there's too many absolutely smacking down the door to say we've got to break up those two, especially with George as the captain, and I like him as the captain, so happy there. Then we get into our problem areas, and tight head prop is a disaster. I don't think there's anyone that we've seen who you'd say is a high quality performer who could win Grand Slams, etc. Will Stewart's probably done as well as he could do so far, and I still don't think he's quite at that level. Dan Cole is just too old, unfortunately. Joe Hayes is getting better and worth a try, but I'm still not convinced he's going to be top level. Sinclair's dropped right off. Many people say we should try Will Collier or Trevor Davison, and maybe we should. And maybe we're just waiting for the likes of Apoko Fajor to get a few more years under his belt and be that dominant tight head who can cover loose head or something like that. So big problem areas. We definitely haven't found our best combination yet. Second row. Itoje has proved, I think, during the World Cup and the Six Nations, he is still our best second row. Plenty of questions about him. His form has dipped a little bit at times, but I think he's come back strong. He's not that super dynamic guy he used to be, but he's getting it right. He's not giving us away as many penalties and still being very annoying and disruptive and physical. So him, definitely. And then who? We have good options, which makes, gives me hope, but we haven't found our best combination, I'm certain. Chesham is still very young. He misses a lot of tackles. He needs to mature a bit physically, decisions-wise. Could George Martin be the other starting second row, or Alex Coles? So a question there, but a positive one, and I hope Borthwick pursues those other options and doesn't just stick with Chesham and not have a look around. That's my worry, that they just stick with what they've got and don't pursue possible excellence. Even if you fail striving for excellence, I would prefer that. Let me know if you disagree. Back row. Ben Earl is the class. Brilliant. He's bided his time and he's absolutely exploded onto the scene. He said in an interview that he's packed on some more muscle, and we saw that with his number 8 play in this championship. He could play 7, of course, but we don't know who goes alongside him. Roots has done okay, but do you just say, yes, he's our man? I think you keep looking. Underhill has done okay. Same thing applies. When Tom Curry comes back from injury, is he at the same level he used to be? Question mark. Can Tom Pearson get there? I think we need to find out. Dombrandt, can he come back? I don't know. Chandler Cunningham South needs game time, needs starts. Still very young, but he could be top quality. But I'm worried he's not going to get it. Guy Pepper's a 7 we could look at. When Alfie Barbary's around and fit, he's a guy we could look at. I think he's banned at the moment, or was banned. So there's still plenty to look at in the back row. I'm just worried they're going to stick with what we've got. Scrum half. Alex Mitchell is our best scrum half at the moment, but I wouldn't say he's absolutely going to be there forever. I think there's other players who could push him, but he's getting better. Happy to nail him in for now, but who the other scrum half is in the 23, I think it's still a question. I don't think Kerr is a world beater anymore. He's a good player, very experienced, but Spencer Randall, Jack Van Portfleet coming back, Quirk, who knows? We need to keep looking. Fly half. It's 1 of 3. But do you just stick with George Ford? We know what he can do. He's experienced. He divides opinion a little bit, but we need to look at Finn Smith and give him time. Marcus Smith being injured was a massive loss for England, in my opinion. I think he would have started, but now I don't want to stick with Ford. We need to keep looking to get that excellence if we're going to get this attack going. Centres. Nobody is nailed down as their best team. Slade is trying his hardest to be the hard man to bash lines. That's not his game. Dingwall is a good player, but is he big enough? Is he quick enough? Probably not. And as a combo, Dingwall and Slade isn't good enough, really. Tuilangi, does he still have a part to play? Don't know. Ollie Lawrence. He was a big miss, I think, in this championship. Can he come back into it? I don't know if he's going to be fit for the next round. Maybe the 4th round. Will Joseph, I think, has got a massive chance of being a long-term 13. Do we need to give Freeman a chance in the centres? Are there other guys coming through, like Hartley of Saracens, who need to be given time? Hopefully we don't just settle with Dingwall and Slade, because I just don't think it's quite good enough, as much as I like them both as rugby players. So big question mark there. Wing. Freeman, start somewhere. We know that. He's ready now. He's better than he was when he played under Eddie Jones. He is ready. All-round game. Perfect for the international. Love him a lot. Do you move him around, try him at 15, try him at 13? It's worth having a go. Elliot Daly isn't quick enough for winger. I'm not saying he's played badly. He's probably played as good as he can play. But does he go on the bench? Does he play 13? Or does he just drop out completely, saying he's not quite there anymore? Faye Wabusu, is he just going to get a few minutes in this championship? Or are we actually going to give him some experience? He's got to be there somewhere. Let's try. Let's strive for excellence, even if we fail in looking for it. Roebuck hasn't played. Kokonasiga, Radwan, Arundel maybe when he returns, although I'm not going to go for future players. So I think we need to keep on looking at wing and fullback. Well, Freddie Stewart, if it's a kicking game, a wet game, absolutely. If it's not, we need to look at other options, which we haven't at all so far. Furbank maybe. Josh Hodge is back playing. He's one for maybe now, maybe a year or two. So my point is, England are miles off their best team. So I've highlighted the players who I think, yes, we should stick with, and the others we just need to keep on looking. Give them some time, but not all the time. I'm just worried they're going to get all the time and we're going to settle with mediocrity, maybe the occasional second in the Six Nations, that sort of thing, and we go for this kind of honourable mediocrity and we're happy with that. I'm not sure that's the way that England should go. I think we should strive to be the best team in the world, and if we fail, we fail, but let's not settle. Anyway, I'd love to know your thoughts. Which players you think are set in stone, they are our best players, which ones we should keep looking for. What's Borthwick going to do? Is he going to carry on looking like I hope he will do? All those comments below, and I'll catch you next time.